It's no secret I've become quite the fan of BlueBrixx over the last year. The quality of the bricks are very good, and they are currently one of the best sources for brick-built trains and accessories, in my opinion. Sure, you can find some awesome builds in Rebrickable, and then spend a small fortune on official LEGO parts from various Bricklink sellers, but it can also be very satisfying to just buy a set and build it. The LEGO group has made fewer and fewer train sets over the years, and they seem content to just skate by with the bare minimum. A passenger train and a cargo train every 3 years, with the occasional extra set here and there. BlueBrixx is a very different story, and they have absolutely tons of sets to choose from. I've had my gripes about little details with the builds, but when something is brick built, it's easy to modify and make things better. Quality is something I expect to only get better over time, and feedback from the brick building community can only help with that. I was recently contacted by Ross, a junior social media manager over at BlueBrixx. If that name sounds familiar, you may have seen him on the BlueBrixx YouTube channel or on the BlueBrixx International channel. I will link both below, but keep in mind the videos on the main channel are in German, while videos on the International channel are in English. Be sure to subscribe to the channel that best suits you to see what sets will come in the future. Ross agreed to come on the channel and give an interview answering questions from our community. I want to give a huge thanks to Ross for setting aside the time to join us, to our Discord members that submitted questions, and to Joey, aka BrickTrains, for helping me get set up with StreamYard. Without further ado, let's jump in. Hi Ross, thanks for joining us today.
Sure thing, thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. So yeah, I just want to start off with a bit about yourself, your hobbies with brick building or outside of it, and how you got started with BlueBrixx.
Yeah, so I'm a junior social media manager at BlueBrixx, mainly in charge of the international channel and organizing that and planning everything there. But I also do stuff for the normal BlueBrixx channel as well. And how I started here, I started about 4 months ago.
Mhm.
Um, First job fresh out of university, and I decided, okay, why not? Sounds fun. Saw the application, and I said, yeah, why not? Sounds like a good, fun, exciting thing to do. Let's go
Yeah,
for it. And that's how I ended up here. And apart from that, outside of brick building, which I must say is a hobby that I kind of rediscovered after working here. I'd
mhm.
done it while I was younger and stuff, but the older I got, the kind of, well, I didn't really follow it up, but now I'm back in the game, as one would say, and yeah, having fun building up more bricks. But apart from that, photography, videography, big hobbies of mine. Editing photos, taking photos, of course. So yeah, that's one of my big hobbies. Of course, I'm a big cinema fan. I think I must go to the cinema about. Oh, I try to go at least once a week or
Mhm.
4 or 5 times a month. Love going to film festivals and everything to do with that. So I'm all into the big whole what's going on in the cinema world. So yeah, let's say it's very audio visual. My hobbies
There you go.
outside of brick building, and then you've got
Gotcha.
the nice brick building hobby with your hands. So
All right.
yeah.
And just maybe a bit about the company BlueBrixx, how long they've been around. I don't really know that much about them. I heard about them through our Discord from members of our community, and went on the website and I kept looking and like, man, they got some cool stuff. And then for me in the US, the shipping's like flat rate, so I just had to build up a big enough order to make it worth it, and started ordering stuff. But beyond that, I don't really know much about BlueBrixx. If you can tell us more.
Sure. BlueBrixx started off in 2001, and it wasn't a
Wow.
brick building company at all. It had nothing to do with bricks. Started off in 2001 with a company called Model Car World, which still exists. And as the name suggests, it's fully model cars, so it just focuses on die-cast cars and stuff. And in 2017, actually, then our CEO decided, hey, what I've heard about these bricks, so let's try it out. And then in 2017, kind of started off, tried out a few things, and then realized, hey, that's working out quite well. And then from there on, it grew and grew and grew up until now, 7 years later. It's, I'd say, quite a big player, actually, so far, certainly in the German speaking part of the world.
Hmm.
And, well, as a person who's doing international, hopefully soon more on that side as well. So yeah, that's how it started out. Model Car World and then BlueBrixx, and now both companies are, yeah, here in Germany in the center.
There you go. I definitely see a lot of brick building going on in Germany. I've seen some awesome builds there and a lot of awesome parts, when I order from like Bricklink or wherever. A lot of good stuff comes from Germany for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
surprised myself that the brick building community in Germany is so big because when you're not really in the bubble, you're like, it doesn't really go past you and you're not really realizing it. The moment you step in the bubble, you're like, okay, wow, the German side of bricks is much bigger than expected.
and then I was just curious how my channel showed up on the radar at BlueBrixx to yourself or anyone there.
I'll say it how it is. As a person who is doing the whole international stuff, I thought, well, we've got the Germans. We know the German brick community. Let's try out the international ones. So I actually went on a big search, a big deep dive through YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, finding all sorts of brick creators, content creators, and I thought, wait a minute, this guy is one of the very few guys who actually does something with BlueBrixx. And of course, I got excited and I thought, yeah, I'll reach out to you, see if you're interested in that. And that's how I ended up here because I thought, wow, BlueBrixx International America, let's go for it. And that's why, yeah, I wrote to you and here we are.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. That was something I noticed because we were talking about BlueBrixx in like the Discord, and that was the only kind of indication I have of what BlueBrixx was like. Because I kind of did some searching myself. I'm like, there's not much out there. And I was like, well, I guess I can kind of start filling that niche a bit. And any sets that I do buy, make sure to make a video on them and kind of share my thoughts and all that. So yeah, it's been good. So back to we were talking about international shipping. I was curious if BlueBrixx plans to work with companies like maybe Amazon. I know some international companies that sell bricks will ship from U.S. warehouses with Amazon, or if BlueBrixx himself has any plans to try to get the shipping cost down a little bit for U.S. Or in other countries as well, because that's kind of the feedback I get. I get a lot of people saying I want to order, but the shipping is holding them back. Even if it was just for some smaller orders to not fit under that $35 umbrella flat rate or something. If you have any information on that, I'd be curious.
Right, yeah, you mentioned it. The 35 euros is a sum that's more or less one or two of our sets, so that's of course quite a lot of money there. So I fully understand your question. And the desire of you and, of course, other people to have the shipping costs lowered and reduced. Currently, I can tell you we are not having any partners in the US to ship to there, or yeah, that's a thing because we're currently mainly Europe based.
Hmm.
When we start expanding, which hopefully is, well, pretty soon, like I said, international is quite important to me. So when we start expanding there, then of course I'd hope that would be top of the agenda to get more sets into America like that and worldwide otherwise. Well, I mean, I read the comments on my YouTube channel, on the German YouTube channel, so international and German, and there are some Australians there going, guys, I can't pay the shipping costs. I'm like, yeah, I know. So, like you said, what you do is just collect and collect and collect until the 35 euro shipping cost doesn't seem so big anymore.
Right.
And then you go for it. That's all I can really recommend you do currently because at the moment we don't have any plans set in motion to do that. But that certainly doesn't mean that we're not thinking about it. We will be
Right.
thinking about it and how to do it. But currently, let's say in the near future, the next few months, there's no such plans. But yeah, it's certainly not out of sight.
Hmm.
It's in our minds. It's slowly maybe forming a plan, but currently, not yet.
Right. I mean, I certainly understand that, and I'm sure that some measure of volume has to be there for it to make sense or to make deals with shipping companies or any of that. but hopefully that'd be something in the future. And that's what I always tell people as well. It's just like, just build up enough, find 4 or 5 sets you want. All the videos I've done, I should have counted before. I don't know how many it was. I've only placed, I think, 2 BlueBrixx orders, and
Yeah, okay.
and
Yeah.
it was, so it's just
But-
bulk, 4 or 5 sets at a time, that kind of thing, and that's what made sense for me. And then in my mind, BlueBrixx is very well. The value is definitely there with the pricing. So the shipping, that offsets some of the shipping already for me, and the quality does seem to be better than some other third-party companies. So I've been happy with the value proposition for sure, even taking into account the shipping.
Certainly. I mean, the shipping, as you say, it's 35 euros, but other companies, other alternative brands, other main companies, their prices are quite a bit higher, and ours are, as you say, the shipping cost is kind of offset. Also, plus when there are some great, I don't know, like deals in the
Hmm.
shop, then the shipping cost is more or less covered by that sometimes as well. But
Right.
yeah, just build up enough, build up big enough order until the 35 euros seem fairly small.
All right. Yeah, I have seen some of the shorts you've been uploading with discounts and offers and stuff. That's good.
Yeah, at the time of recording, we've got a quite big deal on currently. Also, there's one train set in there, the old V200. That's on offer currently, the 6 wide V200.
Mm-hmm.
And I think yesterday, well, at the time of filming yesterday, the new V200 came out as well. So the 8 wide one. Uh, yeah.
Gotcha. So BlueBrixx sets, are they designed in-house? Do you have like remote designers that just submit ideas? Like how do sets get designed?
Very good question. Something that a lot of people certainly are interested in. We have in-house designers and we have out-of-house designers. It's a mix of the two.
Hmm.
Our designers are also in Germany. We, in the German channel, have designer talks sometimes where we invite the designers over to have a chat about their latest projects with us and talk about the design process. And we have, if I remember correctly, we have one designer in New Zealand. There's another one in America. So they are worldwide. Some of them are really fairly local. Some of them are far off. But yeah, we have some in-house as well. They're in the product developer's office. So it's a mix out of the two. A good mix, I'd say, because in the German community, there are people who have their favorite designers as well. Like, oh, yeah, this is done by this guy, so must buy it because it's fantastic. And there are certain favorites that people have now developed from designers. So I think it's quite interesting, yeah. But a mix of the two.
Gotcha. And then I was also curious about where the bricks are sourced from at BlueBrixx.
Various places. We don't have our own molding, like we don't have our own mold press, like Kobe or other brands. But we source them from various different places. Depends really on the set, what colors we want, what colors we need.
Hmm.
There's not one certain, like we can say this is 100% our brick person will, or a brick company that we get the bricks from, no, will generally decide, depending on the set, which bricks suit the set the best. Also to do with colors and everything. So that's how we decide. So I can't really say which ones because there are lots of different ones.
Gotcha. Okay. And with BlueBrixx, how long are sets available before being retired, or if they go out of stock, you think they'd be restocked after that, or does it just depend? In my case, I have done like a review on a set, and then by the time I finally got around to making the video and putting the link in the description, I was like, oh, it's no longer available. I don't remember the exact, if it said it was coming back or anything like that, but I was just kind of curious of how the retirement schedule, I guess, works for BlueBrixx.
There isn't really a schedule as such. There's not like, okay, we've had this set for 2 years, time to retire. Absolutely not. It's fully dependent, really, on how the set, well, is accepted by the community, how the people like it. Let's say we have a set that 3 people buy. Well, when that's gone, it's gone. Because if nobody wants it, of course, we're not going to reproduce it because, well, the people have spoken, so to say, and they're like, no thanks. However, we have sets that we started off with years ago, 6, even 7 years ago, some of our first sets, and people still love them. In my international channel that we have, I did the BlueBrixx, which is this big medieval castle that can have loads of expansions and go up to 6 expansions, 7, 8, 9. How many are coming? I don't know, but it's up to 1.2 by 1.2 meters big, and that was one of our first sets, and it's still around. So it's fully dependent on how the people like it, what the people like. If they want to keep it, if they keep buying it, then of course we'll reproduce it. But if they don't want it, well, then we won't reproduce it because there's not much point in that. So unless people start screaming loudly for it again, it's gone. So if you like a set, more or less is just buy it because you don't know if other people like it or not. I have some sets that I'm like, oh, these are fantastic, and my colleagues are like, not really. So it's really dependent on personal taste. And if the majority is like, yeah, we like it, then it'll be redone or reproduced. But if the majority is like, not really my cup of tea, then it won't be done. So there's not a schedule or anything. It's not a fully set out plan. It's more or less, supply and demand in essence.
Well, that definitely makes a lot of sense, and I think I prefer that to. I know some companies will just have like a 2-year run or however long, and then they're gone, and then so that makes a lot of sense.
No. Why would you do that? Because if people like it, why just go, okay, after 2 years, that's it, out of the shop, out of mind. Not much point there. So that's why we like to say, hey, you guys loved it, so here's more. Until you don't want it anymore, more or less. So yeah.
And I also had a note on the compatibility of trains. Like I've noticed, even earlier in the video, you were talking about 8 wide and 6 wide trains. I was hoping that could be something that could be shown on the website for some of the accessories, because that's something I get asked a lot. I have the large locomotive hull, and I have the gantry signal, and in my mind, those are both basically 6 wide trains, maybe a little bit with a little bit on the sides. Is that something that could be done in the future to kind of designate which accessories and which things are compatible with each other moving forward?
So as the social media manager, I'm not really much into the trains and everything. So once I knew, of course, you're the big train guy, so I thought, okay, if you have train questions, I'll go over to the product development team lead for trains and ask him the questions and get the answers like that. So as far as I understand it, there is a designation. It's just a bit complicated. If it's designated as 8 wide, it's 8 wide. If it's not designated at all, it's 6 wide. That's more or less the designation there is. I'll admit, yes, we should probably write that in the website to make it a bit more clearer like that. It'll be something that I'll bring up in the next meeting and say, hey, let's make it a bit more transparent for people to see. But yeah, that's more or less the designation. If it says 8 wide, it's 8 wide. If it says nothing, it's 6 wide. Because we started out as 6 wide trains and now we're doing 8 wide. So after we started doing the 8 wide, then we started classifying them as such.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and that makes sense. I mean, 6 wide is generally the kind of default for brick built trains.
Yeah.
All the stuff I run is actually 6 wide, just because the complexity and cost and everything ratchets up so much from 6 to 8 wide, and some people even build 10 wide. So
Yeah. The point is, though, that all our trains are compatible. If they're 8 or 6 wide, they all work on the standard train system. So that's not a problem. It doesn't really matter if they're 8 or 6 wide. They do all run on the same train system. But at BlueBrixx, we do like to make, look at the background. We have quite a few big things, and we like the detail in everything. So, for example, 8 wide just allows a lot more detail, and that's why we do like doing 8 wide things. But yeah, as you said, everything goes up: the size, the cost, the whole area it takes up. So, but that does also mean the detail ups itself, and you can see more things. For example, with the new V200, it's quite detailed. It even has some prints, which the old V200 doesn't, and that's what 8 wide allows. But yeah, so differences there, but BlueBrixx is kind of known for doing big things. That's why we went up to the 8 wide thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see what's the huge red display model? Was it
Yeah,
a
that's the
V100 or something?
V100.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a V100. That is absolutely massive. I had that in the international channel a few weeks ago, or last week, I think it was,
Mhm.
and that thing is just insane. That doesn't fit on the standard tracks. Those are the
Right.
few ones that don't. The display
Mhm.
engines and display trains, they don't fit on the standard tracks, but
Right.
the rest of them do. Like that thing is huge. There's
One
another
of the
one we have
members in
the
our
same
Discord
size.
has it, and I
Oh
was
wow.
asking like for dimensions, and he was and the stud wise, and I was like, oh my lord, that is huge. But I
Yeah,
kind of
it
want
is
one
massive.
now. I don't have a lot of display space, but I think I can make room for it somewhere. um,
Certainly. Oh, wait up. There's another one coming out soon. There's the Schweizer Krokodil, so the Swiss crocodile, which
okay.
I've been told is a very famous train. I've seen it in real life in a museum here in Germany. So that's coming out soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but soon.
Mhm.
And that's exactly the same size scale wise, but because it's a bigger locomotive, it's bigger than the V100. So
Wow.
that's also very impressive, and that's green.
Yeah, I'll have to look forward to that. And then a question I've had from train heads. So this is another train question. This is the bogie plate that you would use for, like, say, a train bogie. And the way these, if you go into a Technic plate like this, it rotates very well. And I've heard from them, I haven't had any sets yet, that some sets will have two of the Technic plates together, and they won't rotate as well. That'd definitely be enough to cause like a derailment. Um,
Hmm.
so I guess the question there would be like, one, I guess as a customer who bought a set, um, is there a good channel for feedback for those types of things to say like, I think this was kind of overlooked. Um, in my mind, it usually goes to, it was probably designed digitally, and maybe, that's how it slipped through, or if that's something, I think over time they would be more cognizant of those kind of things. But yeah, are there any channels for feedback for customers, and are there cases where sets will be updated or redesigned when those kind of things are found?
Yeah, so you say it's designed digitally. Yeah, you're correct. It is. Um, but then our product developers come into the whole game, and everything that's designed digitally. Of course, we build it, check it out, see if it's correct, make modifications, say, yeah, okay, it might work digitally, but it doesn't work in real, and then we'll change it around. So that's our quality control. So we do check every set that we have. What's one of our own? So every BlueBrixx set does go through exactly that stage, gets checked. And yeah, as you mentioned, some things slip through, some things aren't that well. We don't have a full built-out train set where we test that all. Um, so that might have slipped through. You're right, and we do get a lot of comments on the YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel is pretty flooded with comments. It's part of my job to read them every day, which, as you can imagine, is a bit of a wild ride sometimes. So yeah, if you have any questions, or if people would like to make some suggestions, we have lots of different channels that you can do. We have our customer support, which is the simple normal email. We have Instagram, German and international. We have YouTube, German and international. We have TikTok. We even have a Reddit account that I started up. And so, any which way, if you want to get in touch and say, hey, what about this? Any of those channels. We do read the comments, we check them all. And if there's something that's worthwhile mentioning to the product developers or to anybody else in the company, we'll take it up with them. That's why we read the comments. So if you do have any questions or anything, then any of those channels, I'll personally say if it's via Reddit, we don't get that many on there, so I'll read them quicker there. Uh, they might go under a bit in the YouTube ones, but Instagram, Facebook, just any of our social channels, or of course, email the customer support. But if it's a technical question, that's more to be found in the comment section of various social channels.
Gotcha.
Oh, and of course you asked, is there a plan to revamp it? Yes. Some of the older sets that we have, they're like the V200 that was 6 wide, now it's 8 wide. Yes, we revamp it. Now, I can't give you a time. I can't say which ones we're doing when, because, I mean, got to keep the excitement up. And there's a lot going on the product developers side. They have lots of new sets to do, and then when, let's say, there's a bit of a breather, they can go and focus on older sets and revamp them and redo them with the boogie plates and turn them around. And sort that out again. So, of course, if there are things that we've read up, yes, they get talked about, yes, they get done, but there's no quick, we get a message the next day it's sorted. No, we do
Right.
have to go through the whole process again and then sort it out. But yeah, that's what we are doing, and there are certainly plans to revamp other trains and to redesign them.
Yeah, that particular issue, I have heard, I guess they've bought more recent sets, and I think they said like they did see an improvement there, like there were changes made. Um, but if there were other things similar to that, I guess that's what brought up the question. Another huge question for the train fans, on the website, it is teased that there's going to be some new and improved train wheel so that we can buy, and the accessory kit that's coming soon. I'm on the notify me list.
Okay.
But that's something that's extremely important to train fans. Is it's very difficult to find a third party that has good resistance, rolling resistance, and doesn't derail on the switch tracks and things like that. So I know you're not like a primarily trained guy, but if there's anything you can tell us about that, or any ETA or anything, we'd appreciate it. But if not, we understand that too.
ETA, of course, always difficult. But what I can certainly say is, like I said, we're working on new trains. And about the train wheels, we have developed new train wheels, that's correct. And they have less resistance when rolling because we've added a new differential in the train wheel holder. So that's what we have done and changed that out, which means less resistance and less noise, which is what I've heard, which is, of course, good. You don't want something clattering about the whole time. So those are the things that we have done. And those new wheels have already been implemented in every set, or every train set, that has the number after 106 000. After that, they have been implemented. Now, I'm not sure about the whole train wheels that you can buy separately, but if it is on the soon available, inform me when available, they will be coming. But like I said, giving an ETA for anything, be it train wheels, be it new sets that are coming, be it it's always a bit difficult. We can't really give 100%. Yes, it'll be there on that day. So currently not. I would have to check that again. If I found out any information, I'll let you know when I could give you a bit, and then you can give it onto your community. But currently, I do not have any information on the separate train wheels, but they are already built into the new trains. Like I said, after set number 106 000.
Okay, well, yeah, that's good information. I'll definitely have to check that out. So that's all the questions I had. If there's anything you want to add, you can. And again, I really appreciate you joining us today.
Sure thing. No, I'm completely happy to do this. It was a lot of fun. I like getting in touch with the community. That's one of the things that we do like doing at BlueBrixx, interacting with the community. Currently, a lot of them are German, but that's what I like. That's what one of my wishes is. Like you said, a BlueBrixx store. We have 37 in Germany. Believe me, one in the US, one in the UK, one in Australia. Hey, I'd be up for that. I would be excited and elated to have that. So there's not much really else I can say apart from spread the word about BlueBrixx so that can happen, and so that we can expand into other territories and show off all our train sets and all our other sets. I mean, check it out what we have. We have there we go, Star Trek there. We have ships. We have some very cool modular buildings. These are very, very cool. They're soon to be released. Of course, BlueBrixx and medieval sets go hand in hand. People absolutely adore them, and these are very cool because they slide out. They're not modular that you lift off; they slide out. So we do think about loads of different things here, and every day it's quite exciting to see what things the designers and developers come up with. And of course, my interest in trains and brick trains has also peaked since I've been here on the international channel. I think you even commented under it, the train video that I did. I had to read up on a lot of those trains beforehand, but it's exciting. And we have loads of trains. I mean, from all sorts of the world. One of the comments said, "Can you have a South African train?" Hey, why not? Why not? If we're going to go fully international, we've got to go fully international with the trains as well. So yeah, it's just exciting getting in touch with community, seeing what you guys like, seeing what you guys build. We're taking inspiration for that. We have the biggest brick set in the world is ours. It's a massive model of Manhattan. And one of our community members, they actually said, "Hey, it's great. I glued it to the wall." Well, okay. And you know what? I'm doing exactly the same thing. I took the one that we have here in our archive, and I'm currently, not even an hour ago, I was sitting there with super glue in my hands, gluing it together so I can put it up to the wall, this massive thing, because the community gives us great ideas. They have fantastic things they do. They revamp the sets themselves. They add lights. It's a journey. It's an experience, a journey, and a very fun one, and a creative one that I just love going on with you guys. And especially the more international it gets, the more fun I have, because I mean, I'm bilingual. I speak German as well and English, but as a person who does all the international content, believe me, I'm happier if everything goes more international. So yeah,
Very
and
good.
that's why. Thanks for you as well to invite me to have this on, because yeah, what better way to talk about BlueBrixx and trains than here. So thank you so much for having me, because I had fun. I enjoyed chatting with you, and I hope we can do it soon again.
Yeah, sounds good.